What up, everybody? So we back again, and this is a good one. This is gonna be a really good one. As much as I talk about PlayStation, as much as I talk about Xbox, I kind of leave Nintendo behind a little bit, and that's just because I gave away my Switch a while ago, and after playing Mario Wonder, I didn't really have a use for it, and I've been waiting on this moment that happened this week, and that was the announcement of the Switch 2. So I kind of just been holding out on that, and then also holding out on when Microsoft makes their handheld as well. I was trying to figure out if I was going to get me a Steam Deck or get me a ROG Ally, and I just didn't know yet, so I'm kind of just feeling it and waiting it out. But at least we got some information on the Switch 2, which they had a full 1 hour direct, and it was dope. It was really, really, really dope. It showed a lot of things. Third-party support was probably its biggest feature. And for those who don't know what third-party support means, is like Nintendo, Sony, and PlayStation own different studios, and in those studios we call that in-house. So the games that they own and or publish is considered theirs. So let's say Ubisoft is a massive, third-party distributor, which they make Assassin's Creed. And Assassin's Creed comes on the Xbox, comes on the PlayStation, Steam, PC, and I don't know if they had any iterations for Nintendo, but that was kind of like the thing with Nintendo was Nintendo's usually catered towards, children. And the Switch made some strides in making more adult, content or adult games, are trying to get that in that space, but it's still relatively made for children. And so right off the bat, where they're showing that, hey, the Switch 2 is a bit more mature. Not necessarily everything has to be violent. It was just the third party support. It was crazy. It was so many games that they showed from third party publishers who normally will, publish on Xbox and PlayStation. And because the system was the original Switch was I wouldn't say downgraded, because when it came out, it was good for what it was at its time, but it still was behind the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So still graphically or power-wise, it was still underpowered. So now we're up to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation, and I would say on the edge of PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. Definitely when it comes to 60, because it goes 60 frames 4K, and then 120 frames I think at 720. So that's like something we haven't heard of from Nintendo. Period. They do not care about HD, or we said that before. They didn't care about all that because they knew we were coming for the Zeldas, we were coming for the Marios, we're coming from Nintendo IP that doesn't really need the graphical power horse or the power or even the HD capability. So they knew where they were in their pocket, but we all got a big surprise when we watched that it said not only 4K, not only HDR, but then the 120. That was the one that threw a lot of us off when we watched, the conference. It was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, they're really going for it. So that means, third-party support should be huge, because now these developers are going to be able to, put stuff on the system that they may do on the Xbox or on the PlayStation. So that's really, really, really great news. Some really dope features that come with the Switch 2. The size is a lot bigger. The screen is a lot larger. I wish they did OLED, but they're on LCD, but LCD like a newer version of LCDs that don't look bad. OLED, as you see on this TV here, for me, it's the blacks. The blacks is you're gonna get the best ink, deep blacks you're gonna see, that which makes certain situations pop, especially when it comes to games with high fidelity. So they had that going forward. They have this button called the C button, which is like your communication button between everyone. And it's a really cool feature that I think is cool. I don't know how much is going to function well, but basically they have this system and you hit this button and you can communicate with friends, but either all of you can play a certain game together, or you all could be on totally different games but still chatting it up. So like basically, if I'm in on a PlayStation, if I'm playing a game and somebody wants to see what I'm playing, I have to hit game share and then share that game to them on their screen. But that totally cancels out whatever they may be doing on their PlayStation. If they're watching YouTube or if they're doing whatever, it will just take the whole screen and he'll know what I'm playing or she'll know what I'm playing at the same time. And this one, basically, it makes a bar and it kind of goes at the bottom, and then they'll have like, looks like Zoom or looks like any one of your communication, internet communication, like offices, that it has that same like pop up where it'll be a box and you'll see that person playing whatever they're playing. And then there's a camera attachment that you can have it. So it looks like a Zoom meeting and their face is there while they're playing like their game, which I think is a really cool feature for times where, you know, I have really, most of my friends are obviously in the States. I live here in Switzerland. So we don't really FaceTime that often, but we do game chat all the time. So if it was a possibility to have the FaceTime plus the game chat, no matter what we play, because I got homies that only play NBA 2K. He don't play nothing else. That's all he played. So I can't get him to jump on a Call of Duty, or I can't get him to jump on something, but at least we can FaceTime different games. So I think that's really, really, really cool. Don't know how well that's going to work. They showed it a little bit, and even in the conference, it looked a little bit choppy, but nonetheless, it's something new, something different, something cool. Also, the controllers are really dope too. So with the HD rumble, HD feedback, more you feel a little bit more, but it also turns into a mouse. And I think for like first person shooter games, I think that may be something pretty cool, because although it's a console and you're not using keyboard and mouse, your controller can turn into a mouse. So when you get those Call of Duties on the game, or you get those SPSs, Metroid Prime and stuff like that, like they use the mouse function, may add a little bit of like, okay, this is different. I get the feel of the PC, but not necessarily having a PC. Plus it being portable is I kind of like that. I want to see how it feels in the hand. Like I said, we got to get these subs up and we got to get these likes and everything. So the more subscriptions I get, the better chances I get to get invited to these things, and I can go hands-on, one-on-one. And like I said, the coolest thing is like going to these events and being there in person and really showing you guys like what I enjoy and what I love, like up front. But yeah, it was a lot of standouts. I mean, the big standout was Mario Kart. Mario Kart was dope. It kind of takes the Horizon aspect of you being able to drive anywhere and move anywhere and do what you want to do while entering races. If you're familiar with Horizon on Forza Horizon on Xbox, then this will kind of be like at home for you when it comes to understanding like what they're trying to, you know, create. And I think what Mario Kart, you can like, it was going to get to this part somewhere, and it's called Mario Kart Worlds, so just makes sense. Yeah, Donkey Kong was the like the finisher. I won't say the finisher, but like a big project, because we were all thinking it was gonna be a new Mario, but it's basically a Donkey Kong set in a Mario like 3D type world. But what's super impressive about that game is the destruction. Donkey Kong's destroying the whole level, going underground, going through, going up, like crushing everything. Like it was really impressive to see the tech that they were showing with Donkey Kong. And kind of reminds me when Breath of the Wild came out, as you kind of can see here. And Breath of the Wild came out when it was like, yeah, you can climb anything. And at the time, we were like, huh? Because usually games at the time have walls. And like, if it's a mountain, you ain't going to be able to climb that. Or if you try, just slide back down. It's in most of every video game. And it was the first time they were like, nah, you're like, everything's climbable. You can climb that. See that tree, you can get on that tree. You see that area, you can climb on that. And of course, it had the stamina meter, but at the same time, it was just like, whoa, like what's going on here? Like this is too foreign for us at the time. It may sound stupid, but in the world of video games, where there's invisible lines, there's out of bounds lines, and there's areas that like are painted as a background, and it's painted so well or conveyed in such a way with a certain angle that it may look like you can reach that, but then once you get to it, you see it. And Mario 64 is probably one of the biggest components of that. At the time, we didn't know what was going on, but now you can like obviously see that that's a painted background, and they just did a good job to make it look like the actual game, that by the time you get to it, you just run into a wall. So Breath of the Wild like changed the game on that, and basically kind of made everybody else have to like follow suit, because it's such a groundbreaking thing that it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I should be able to climb that. So now, if you have like, for example, Assassin's Creed, at the time, I wouldn't say it was on rails, but you couldn't just climb anything. You kind of had a path. You saw that, okay, I can climb that. Oh, I can't climb that. And now basically they've implemented more waypoints, or not waypoints, anchor points. So the game knows, okay, I need to climb here, I can climb here, and it makes it feel like you're climbing at any, interval. So Nintendo really changed the game with that when it comes to that like type of feature. So yeah, they showed off the so getting back to the point I was saying with Donkey Kong is like, I feel like this is another one where like, yes, we had games with destructibility. What's the shooter? Bad Company. Battlefield Bad Company was like kind of one of the first games to show like levolution, in which that means is just like, I see that building, if I shoot enough rockets at it, it's gonna crumble. Or if I throw a grenade in something, that blows up a lot of pieces of the wall and everything's gonna come out. And we still to this day want a part 2 of that game. But so it's kind of like that, but in this Donkey Kong, it's like you can just destroy the whole level entirely, which is something, something that's just different. The different that on paper when you say it until you see it, hopefully it might pass on this montage here. But when you see it, it's like, oh, okay, which just opens up the land for tons of underground, above ground, through, maybe swimming underwater, but then punching underwater, and then there's a whole new level at the bottom. Like it's pretty unlimited with what we saw in the direct. Also, the biggest, I think, reveal that had, if you check out this, there's Max Doom, who had a really, really, really hilarious watch for the direct, and he did some subs on a possibility of something that we wouldn't imagine being on the system, and he said Bloodborne 2. And funny enough, Nintendo comes out with their own From Software game made by the actual creator of Bloodborne and Dark Souls and Elden Ring and From Software. And they have their own game that kind of, during the trailer, had everyone like, yo, nah, you can't tell me that they're going to make Bloodborne 2 on the Nintendo before they make it on PlayStation. And it's called something Bloods. Excuse me if I get it wrong, I'll put it at the bottom. But it's basically a Dark Souls type game, but with the energy of like Bloodborne. So it's an exclusive to Nintendo, which is crazy because no one knows when Bloodborne is going to come out. And so I'm pretty sure people who are obsessed with, FromSoft games, this is a get. This is a get because, one, it's the only version you're going to be able to play it on the Nintendo. And then two, like, if they ain't making Bloodborne 2, this is the best thing you about to get. So yeah, that's pretty crazy on that end. Also, the Switch with the third-party support is going to have Yakuza. It's going to have so many just dope games. I'm waiting on the games for me is not necessarily third party because the past two have been on Nintendo, but it's the Bayonettas, it's the Devil May Cry, it's the hack and slash games. Y'all know me at this point, the Ninja games. Once I start seeing the Ninja games on there, then I'm gonna be really, really hyped. All right, and then the price point on that joint is not bad. It's 450 francs, and that's with, I believe that's with Mario Kart. But here comes the internet, and here comes the caveat to this whole presentation. Amazing presentation, up and down. I really just mostly talked about the games that I enjoy, but the price of the games. So that Mario Kart Worlds was going to run about $80 USD. Donkey Kong is, I believe, $90 USD, and those are pricey. I'm not too crazy about the price, but I'm not upset because back in the day, N64 cartridges were around that price. And I don't know how my parents used to give me multiple ones. I mean, I had one time when I did a really good job in school and they had to kind of force their hand to like do it. So for Christmas, I got mad Nintendo 64 tapes. I don't know. They had to rob a store. I don't know what happened because those games was crazy high. So kind of back to that price. And then the big reveal of that is everyone's worrying about, well, I guess Grand Theft Auto is going to be about 100 then. If people are willing to buy 80 for Donkey Kong, then a hundo's easy for Grand Theft Auto. So I think we're kind of in this price war and then the tariffs. But like I said, we don't get into politics here. But they even had to cancel the pre-orders because of the Trump tariffs and what we know may come up. I don't know how much the games are going to be here because they're already $80 here. So I'm thinking now all these may be in the hundo. So who knows? We'll see. But overall, I'm really excited for it. I'm going to pick it up. You know what I mean? I got to. It's the Switch 2. I definitely have to get that. And I definitely want to get the Xbox version whenever we come out. And I'll definitely keep y'all up to date on that too. But this one is a short one. I just wanted to get on it because it did happen this week. And I wasn't able to cover it live, but on the next show, because we have Summer Game Fest, I'm gonna try to do some lives on Twitch and just have that for you guys if y'all want to check out what a conference is, if you've never seen one before, or you're just clueless on what any of this is. Those conferences are really good things to like, one, get hyped, so you're like, oh yo, this is dope, this is this, and then two, to get a lot of information from the developers themselves or to the spokesperson of those. But this is the end of this video. Sorry to cut it short for you guys, but it was just like a really quick one on the Nintendo Switch 2. I'll have some more coverage on it pretty soon and kind of chop up some videos and show you guys the different games and stuff like that as much as I can. But as always, if y'all can y'all like, can y'all subscribe, click that button for me, you know what I mean? Because once this channel goes up and I'm able to really go to LA, I'm really to go to Summerfest and really do the thing that I enjoy, I want to do, and get invited, because this is from media only now. It used to be open, but once I can get these media badges and really, you know, show y'all like what I endure or enjoy, for sure, man. I'm excited because we're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? Things take time. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying learning this process. But please, yeah, thank you for listening to this. Like once again, like, subscribe. I catch y'all to the next one. Peace.